when you take the experience you have had with Rickson, the many experiences you've had with Royler, learning from him, how are they different?
Royler's a savage, man. Royler's always been the guy that's like pedal to the gas. Like Royler's like, I'm gonna pass your guard. That's it. You're gonna get your guard. You know, I'm gonna take you down. I'm gonna do whatever I can to you. And he does. If you've had the pleasure to train with him, you will feel it. He's, like I said, almost reckless abandonment, but with pinpoint accuracy. And Rickson's a little bit of the opposite. Rickson's more like, it's going to be a very crushing experience for you, but it's going to be done with less. Where Royler's like foot on the gas, Rickson's more refined in that way, taking nothing away from either of them. Yes, it's a crazy, and Royce again, training with Royce is another one. People were saying that Royce is not, you know, I've heard the conversation, Royce is not that good. Man, Royce is good. Royce is amazing. You know, I was at a seminar and Linton Vassell, who's a dear friend of mine, Bellator fighter. I met Linton Vassell, became friends with him through a seminar with Royce in the Midlands here in the UK. And Linton will tell you, he was an athlete at the time. He was a freak athlete. I watched Royce have his way in the nicest possible way, you know. And even Linton was surprised. And you have to understand, this guy is like 6'3", athletic dude in Bellator, now ready to fight for the championship, for the belt. And I was like, this is insane, you know. So yeah, it's. Have you trained with
Who do you think will? Yeah, I've taken. He did a seminar here that day that I had lunch with him, but he was not training that day. I think he was nursing an injury, so he did a lot of instruction, and we learned a lot of things.
Incredible mind,
super
sharp eye, late pinpoint accuracy, knows what he's talking about. You know, he's not a guy who's just fluffing up the edge. This guy has been through it, won it, did it, seen it. You know.
Who do you think will hold the torch the way that? I mean, I feel like, you know, the Gracie name is such a, like you said, there's people that dislike the Gracies. There's people that rave about the Gracies. There's people that can respect their place in jiu-jitsu history, and those that will tell you that they don't have a place in jiu-jitsu history. Who do you think carries the torch in the same way that Royler has and that Rickson did? Do we see that again? Is there going to be someone, or do we see somewhat of a dispersal and a following of this athleticizing of the sport, and kind of go more down the road of ADCC, more down that road of large spectacle grappling and competitive grappling? Where do you think this all goes?
Let's put it into context. Royler Gracie, 6 fights, 1 night. Hold on. No weights, no rounds, no time limit, no weight division, no gloves. We're not going to see that again, firstly.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Royler Gracie, one of the most decorated jiu-jitsu guys to ever do it. ADCC champion, world champion, consecutively. We're not going to see that again, even by the standards of others coming through now. No, we're not going to see that.
Right.
Rickson Gracie, the rumor is 400 fights undefeated, although that's right. You know, that's a discrepancy. Never lost a professional MMA fight in his career.
Probably not. That's getting harder and harder and harder.
So
I wouldn't be surprised if John Jones if he comes back and fights, I think he's the last undefeated. I don't think anyone does another run like that.
Right. Jiu-jitsu fighter, undefeated, Rickson Gracie. So in the realms of what we know, is anyone going to be able to match that with all of that? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
So that kind of diminishes those who say they're not relevant. They never did anything for jiu-jitsu, this and that. Without those, would we have really had what we have today? We may have. Who knows? We may have. And that's a big question. But to go back and do that in that time, is that possible? Who knows? Who knows? I